Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Transformation Leadership webinar. In this webinar, we will review, just get the screen up, okay. We will review the background on what is a transformation leader, the characteristics of a transformation leader, why is a transformation leader important, and how to become a transformation leader. My name is Alvarado-Rodriguez. I'm the Executive Director and CEO of Innovative Education Consulting Services. And on the line with me is?
Hi, everyone. I'm Samantha Rodriguez. I am also a consultant under the Innovative Educational Consulting Services, and I also hold a master's in business and leadership.
Welcome, Samantha. Well, what you guys don't know is Samantha's also my daughter. So it's going to be a fun webinar with
a successor.
All right, so let's review what is a transformation leadership. What is it? What's a transformation leader? Samantha?
So for me, a transformational leader is someone who can motivate people to follow you and how you can encourage them to follow what your vision and mission is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, the defined word of transformation leadership is leadership experts Jane McGregor Burns introduced the concept of transformation leadership in 1978 book Leadership. He defined transformation leadership as a process where leaders and their followers raise one another to higher levels of morality and motivation. What are the characteristics of a transformation leader? We have a transformation leader sets clear goals, is fair and has integrity, encourages others and leads the way, provides support, provides recognition, gets your team to look beyond their self-interest, and inspires your team to reach their goals. Samantha, I know that you are also a director of a child care facility. Can you tell us a little bit about your characteristics as a transformation leader?
Of course. So this could be either a large goal or a small goal. I would start off small, considering how many staff and the experience your staff have within your organization. So for setting clear goals, what I usually do is I observe first in classrooms to see what are lacking, what are the goals that we would like to work on, and then I sit with the team and we discuss whatever goals we're having individually. So for instance, one of the classrooms, I noticed that they needed, support with scheduling. So our goal is to do a schedule, and we're going to follow that schedule for 2 weeks. So that is a fair and has integrity. That's something that they all look forward to, because since we created it together, and they are very, very encouraged to do it together. In addition to that, I provide support. So I do check-ins. I pop in, hey, guys, how's it going? Do you need any support? Do you need anything? Or I can model this for you, or I can coach this for you. Once it is completed, or once I see progress, we usually give recognition. So I highlight it. Oh my goodness, you guys did an amazing job. I love it. And with this, it really builds the staff morale and their interest in becoming the leader in their own classrooms as well.
Awesome. So it sounds to me like they take ownership.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
And how does that work for you? Do you have some people that actually are visual learners? You need to create tools so they can learn this visually, or how do you create those goals for them? What tools do you use?
So I've learned for the past couple of years of directing and being in this leadership role was to learn my staff is basically being like a teacher. You learn your kids, you adapt to how they're learning. I have staff members who don't speak English. So what I do is I translate everything over to whatever language that they're comfortable in speaking. And then we come in and I try to discuss it with them as much as I can. Some staff members are visual, so I do have to provide them either slideshows or go in and model this for them. And a lot of staff members are hands-on. So a lot of hands-on learning on the job is key.
Awesome. And can you tell me a little bit about how do you inspire your team to reach those goals? So I know that you provide recognition. I heard you say that you set those clear goals, you create different tools to be able to share those goals with them. So how do you inspire your team to reach beyond those goals?
With my check-ins, I say, I noticed that you're doing this really well. Now let's reach this. So basically like reinforcing the positivity of the classroom.
Great, great. And I guess one last question on the characteristics. Well, how do you get your team to look beyond their self-interest?
So when we have our meetings together, we talk about what they think they can progress in. So it's not really me telling them what they need in the classroom, it's them telling me. So I'll ask like open-ended questions, like what kind of supports do you think that you would need from me? Or, whatever the case may be. And they come up with the goals on their own. So I think that's a great way to inspire your team to create their goals and actually achieve them.
That sounds amazing. Now, looking back, maybe considering that we're in a new year, so if you want to reflect on the 2022 year and your mission in becoming a transformational leader with your team, what did you see that really worked well? And what did you see that you didn't, you want to work on a little bit as a transformation leader?
I noticed that, so from the previous year when I was actually in the classrooms coaching my staff, they were doing really well with progression. Once I become too busy to jump into classrooms to support them as much as I can, I think that's what I need more support in, which I believe I have now that I have the perfect admin team. So I can, delegate this responsibility to other people, which is great. So I hope in the future that this will be something that we could split the role in.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about your administrative team now that you have an administrative team, because we talked about the characteristics of being that transformational leader with your teachers, right? And your staff. How about your admin team? How do you how are you leading them? What tools do you use? Right? So if we're using these characteristics again for your administrative team in order to run the organization, how are you using these tools? Or what tools are you using?
Communication is key. As soon as I walk in the building, I sit down my admin team and I tell them exactly what's going on, who's out for today, or what's the next due date, or whatever the case may be at the time that's happening. Constant communication and delegation. So I'll tell my team, hey, I'm working on this, that, and that. And are you able to take on this responsibility for me? And usually when I ask them, they take it on. If I tell them that I'm overwhelmed, they'll take it on as well. So just the communication part with my admins.
Awesome. And do you also provide like recognition? Are they inspiring? Are they delivering your mission? Are you providing them support?
Yes.
Like, how are you doing that for your administrative component?
Yes. Once I delegate those responsibilities, I'll do check-ins like I do with the teachers, like, hey, let me see your progress. And I'll check the progress. And if I feel like they need support, I will come and help them. And if not, I will give them the recognition, like, hey, you did this really well. Now let's work on this other topic.
Great, thank you. And how do you hold them accountable? How do you track the accountability?
We do have accountability checklists. So what happens is if I see, so I'll go to them, have this conversation, and we can do the checklist together. So that way they are aware and I'm aware of what needs to be done.
Awesome. Thank you, Samantha. So setting clear goals is very, very important. Number one, you have to have everything in writing. You have to have your goals in writing in order to be able to share it with your team and deliver that to your team, right? So visuals are very important. If it has to be in a PowerPoint, then there it is. If it's in the world of Zoom, maybe a webinar, maybe even in person. I love in person better because we'll be able to connect a little bit more with our team. But it's very important to set those clear goals. When I'm setting goals for my organizations, I'm also inviting everyone onto the into the play, right? Into the meetings in order for us to understand this is the goal that we have. This is the goal that we have to accomplish this year for this organization, and who is going to be responsible for these goals, and set really clear goals of, you know, the whole entire picture to frame that out, you know, to become fair and have integrity. You know, you got to mean what you say, right? So when you are setting these goals, make sure they're realistic goals, right? I cannot have I can't ask well, I could ask my administrative team, let's go out and find 20, you know, early childcare professionals that have master's degrees, right? I mean, I have to be fair, right? We cannot, with the staffing shortages, it's very difficult, right? So I have to kind of like say, okay, this is the goal, and let's be fair about and be realistic about this goal, right? Encourages others and leads the way, right? So, you know, I'm really big on creating leaders and providing people opportunities to become leaders, right? So if they come in, you know, as an assistant teacher, a teacher, or maybe even an administrative team, finding something that they really, really excel in, and going back to those goals and saying, you know, Jane Doe or John Doe, you do very well with this. These are our goals. How about if we give you this to do so we can work together towards that goal? And that's a really great way to encourage your teams in leading the way. Thinking out the box, guys, thinking out the box, you know, childcare, especially if you're in a childcare business, you already know that staffing is horrendous. It's been very difficult past 3 years post-COVID. And, you know, it's just been very difficult. So we have to really think about out the box and how we can become the best transformational leaders with what we got, right? And build our team again. Providing supports, oh my gosh, it's nonstop supports. And then understanding that sometimes the supports are not you, right? You know, there's been plenty of times where I go and coach a team or coach a staff member and try to like really support them. And I realize that I'm not the person for them. So I'll bring in additional help, right? To support that person, and they excel very well. So, you know, really looking out the box again and how you be able to support your team, because if they're with you, they want to be there. They want to be in your organization, right? They want to work with you. They want to work with your families. They want to work with your children. So trying to connect the dots and how you be able to really support your staff is really important. Providing recognition, it doesn't have to be monetary, although monetary is very, very great. But, you know, just a simple thank you. You know, there are a lot of leaders forget, you know, they're so caught up, and sometimes it's not their fault, right? They have so many things, so many to-do lists, so many tasks. They're covering classrooms while they're covering the front, and still trying to become this, be this leader in an organization with staffing shortages, people sick. But you have to take a moment, guys, to really say thank you, or creating a tool for recognition, right? Building that into your budgets, maybe, perhaps for the following year. That's very important as well. You know, create a recognition budget, you know, pot, right? So that way you can pull out, whether if it's a thank you card with a gift card in it for coffee, or just like, here's movies on me, guys, you know, you did an amazing job this year, or thank you for not taking off for a whole year, you know, perfect attendance award. Here is, you know, additional 2 hours of PTO time, you know, for you to use. So those are providing recognition on in your staff and keep them motivated, right? And looking beyond self-interest. I always look at my team and say, would you like to become a leader, right? I see this beautiful characteristics in you. You know how to delegate, you know how to you're organized, you know, or maybe perhaps you need to go back to school. Let me help you do that. So you can look beyond, right? And what do you want to be? I always tell my team, and I have like 48 of them at this point. I tell them, I say, listen, I'm here to build you. And I'm to help build you, not build you, to help build you, right? And to help you with your future goals. And whether or not that's with me or not, it's okay, right? Because the goal, I'm not afraid to lose you. I want you to go out there and I want you to become this leader in this early child care education field, because our children and families need you. So I always look at it that way and really make our team look beyond their self-interest and inspire my team to reach their goals. Those high fives are great. As Samantha was saying, she really celebrates those achievements of goals. However, I like to inspire my team and say, hey, let's reflect, because sometimes we're so buried under what has happened or transpired during the course of the day, the chaos, right, in ECE world. And if you guys are ECE leaders, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You go in with at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, thinking you're going to have this really great day. You have 5 call outs, you have 3 sick kids, another child bit another child, you have a very upset parent, the meal program didn't bring in the right proper milks. There are so much that goes on during the course of the day that sometimes we forget to stop, breathe, and reflect and look for that one positive thing that happened. So between all that chaos, something beautiful happened. Maybe it was a child's smile. Maybe it was your admin, doing something that's out the box, or maybe she accomplished or he accomplished a certain goal. So looking out the box and really inspiring them and making them look past all the negative is really important as well. Samantha, would you like to add anything to that?
No, I think you hit it right on the nose.
Thank you. So why is it important, right? Why is transformational leadership important? It's often argued to be one of the most important ideas in business leadership. If you have a business, and childcare is a business, guys, let's not forget it, right? We love our children. We love our families. We love what we do. We are inspired by these little children. We want to create better futures, right? However, we are still a business, and we need to make sure that in order to run our business effectively and to become sustainable, we have to be able to be a very good transformation leader, right? It is the most important thing in business. So,
especially with those who are willing to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I say this again, if they're in your organization, they're willing to learn. They're willing to learn. They're there, right? So everybody's always talking about recruitment. We do recruit, in our organization, we recruit just like everybody else, but our focus is retention, right? Yep. Because we want to make sure that we retain our staff too, especially the ones that are really invested. So, yeah. How to become a transformation leader, Samantha?
So you do this by creating an inspiring vision of the future. And by doing that, you create your vision with your team and you share as much as possible. So in my center, what I did with my staff is I provided them with the vision and mission statement of our facility. And I provided everyone with like a survey, and I asked them open-ended questions like, what does this mean to you? Or how do you interpret this? And with the feedbacks that I received, I was like, wow, wow, they've really got it. Like they really understand it. And sharing it with not only with your staff, but with your families. Everyone who walks in that building should be able to see it. It's in my staff lounge, it's in the front of the building, it's in my office, it's all over the place. So everyone sees the vision. Motivating your team to believe and deliver on that mission. So in addition to the surveys, checking in with my staff, hey, what are you guys up to? This is what we're working on. And they are so amazing with, keeping on track with that. Managing delivery of the vision and building strong trust-based relationships with your team. I have built really beautiful relationships with my team, especially with the mental check-ins. So I think the mental check-ins with me and my staff has been very, very effective lately, because I know there's things that happen at home or, their own personal life. So I just check in. Hey guys, are you feeling okay? Do you need a 15 minutes or whatever the case may be? Or let's talk about this. Let's talk about what's going on. I know that you're going through some things. I'll give you your time. Go take a walk. So I think those are really important in becoming a transformational leader.
Thank you, Sam. I couldn't have said it perfect myself. You do have to create an inspiring vision for your future in the organization. People that are working in childcare right now is because they want to work there. And I'm going to keep saying this until I'm blue in the face. They want to work there. They want to make a difference in children's life. And if your vision is not about that change, you need to revision your vision and your mission. Okay, just throwing that out there, right? Because nobody wants to work for an organization. It's all about money, making money, right? When people are working in education field or early childhood education, is because they really want to make a difference in children's lives, right? They love what they do. They love the children. They love, teaching the children, right? So your vision really has to match that, making that difference in those children's lives. It means something, right? It has to mean something. So my vision in one of my organization is definitely, respecting that diversity, that to become equitable, to have equitable and inclusive environment for children and families where they all feel welcomed, right? And how do we deliver that vision, right? To be able to successfully transition children into kindergarten, those are all the key points of our vision. And everyone that works with us, that's the first thing I tell them. Right? Anyone that comes into my organization, I am sharing that vision and that mission. Because if it's not for you and this is not something you want, then you shouldn't be working for us. Right? You should find an employer.
Yeah, and being very transparent.
Yeah, transparency is very, 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 it's key to building those relationships, and not being afraid, right? I learned a few years ago, last year, actually, not a few years ago, but I learned something very valuable that always stuck with me. It's a saying. It says, hire slow, fire fast. Right, and that's powerful. And I know that's very difficult in the early childcare space because, we're short staff, right? And everybody's like really struggling with the staff and keeping classrooms opening and servicing children and families. However, the turnover is no good either for the children as well. So hire slow, fire fast, right? Make sure that the people that you are hiring is invested in your vision. And motivation, definitely motivating your team is really, really important. Building strong trust-based relationships with your team as well. Just check-ins, hey, how you doing? Maybe if it's a simple text. I'm not big on texting my team, but I will if I know something's happening. And I'm also a very good observer. So I look for, those moments, maybe somebody's not having a good day. And I'm like, hey, you need 5 minutes, I got you. I'll come out of my office and say, I got you, go have a moment. And even if they say, no, I'm fine. I'm like, no, you're not fine. I will feel better if you go outside and just take a 5-minute breather or a 15-minute breather, go get a break. It's really important to check and build those relationships with your team.
It's also important for your team to see you as a leader willing to jump in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How many diapers I've changed? I've cleaned bathrooms.
Yes, me too.
We're going to do this together because although I signed the checks, we going to do this together. We're in this together, so it's really important. It's really, my leadership skills is hands-on, so that here we go. This is what we're going to do together. I'm very understanding as well. But I do hold people accountable. So, I try to balance that. So how to create an inspiring.
And don't be
Go ahead, Sam. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say, don't be afraid ask, like, when you jump in, like, hey, what are you guys working on? What can I help you with? And things like that. Don't be afraid to do that. Okay, so how to create an inspiring vision. People need a reason to follow your lead, and therefore you need to create and communicate an inspiring vision of the future. Your vision should describe your organization's purpose, the why you get up every morning to do what you do. Once you understand the values of the team you lead, understand the capabilities of and the resources, you then will be able to develop a strong vision and summarize it in your organization's mission statement. If you're developing a vision for your team, start with the organization's mission and vision and explore ways in which your team can contribute directly to it.
Awesome. So why do you wake up in the morning, guys? You know, I wake up in the mornings to do what I do because I love consulting. I love coaching. I love making a difference in people's lives. You know, I actually, for my childcare businesses, I love what I do. I love taking care of children. I love, you know, the family connection. I love community-based work. You know, I love education. You know, I love diversity. Those are all the key words that I plugged in to my vision mission. Right? That's why I wake up in the mornings. Samantha, why do you wake up in the mornings? To do what you do.
As much as I love teaching my kids, like I'm back and forth with my mission and vision statement. I love teaching children, but then I also love supporting adults and teaching them as well. I think that's something I just told you not so long ago, how I was really interested in becoming like a college professor because I love teaching the adults and how to teach the children as well.
Yep. So again, when you're creating an inspiring vision, jot down, you know, write it down, and you're going to keep writing it down. You know, what is it that wakes you up in the morning? What is it that you love to do? And just keep writing those words down. It might come to you in the middle of the night, like me. I sleep and think stuff, and I wake up and I have a journal right next to my bed, and I was write it down really quickly. I'm a little crazy like that. But, you know, you don't have to be a little crazy like that. You can, you know, be driving and maybe something just popped up in your head, you know, those thinking moments. So why do I do what I do? And what do I love doing it? And then just writing it down and formulate those words into your vision, and that way you can share it. Also sharing that with your staff. Go around, ask your staff, why do you come to work? Very simple question, right? Why do you wake up every morning to do what you do? That's a powerful question, guys. If you ask your staff that, I bet you your vision and mission statement would be the most powerful one ever, because you might be surprised that they have the same or maybe even different visions, right? So bridging that is really important, and that could be very inspirational. That brings us to the next slide, how to motivate your team to deliver your vision. So I just said, ask your staff, which I do. So let's just suppose you're asking your staff and you have all this great feedback and you have your, you know, journal with all this written stuff, everything. I would bring your staff together and say, let's create a mission that really fits this organization. They take ownership of that vision, right? Because it needs to appeal to your team's values and inspire them, right? So where you're going to lead them, and why are you leading them, right? So they are part of that, creating that vision. They understand the vision, they value your vision, and they're going to share that vision, right? You can use storytelling as one of the tools to help people appreciate the positive impacts of your vision on the people you're trying to help, right? If the only person you're trying to help is you, remember that this won't motivate many people. So if my vision statement is to become filthy rich by the age of 50, guess how many people are going to be on top of that vision? One, myself, maybe my husband, right? Or maybe my kids. But the point is, when you're leading a team, you have to make sure that your vision is meeting everyone's vision, or mostly what motivates them as well, right? Because if it's only helping you or only helping the organization, people are not going to be motivated. Sam, you you have anything to say about that? Add?
Yes. I would like to add as well that your mood influences your team. So by that being said is if you're positive about your vision, your team will be positive about the vision as well. If you are not positive about the vision, your team will not be positive about the vision. So just know that as a leader, the way you look at your things influences the rest of your team.
Yes. I remember going to a meeting of an organization years ago, and they were sharing their vision. It was a director, and they were talking like, I don't know if I'm probably showing my age, the Clear Eyes Vision Visine commercial. It was so dry. Like, it was only 3 sentences, and I dreaded those 3 sentences. I was like, whatever, so your vision has to really be very motivating, right? To capture people and be enthusiastic about it. And if your team is not enthusiastic about talking about your vision, revisit that, right? Revisit that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Sam. Okay, delivering your vision. Samantha, you want to go with the yellow box?
Yes, a vision is no use on its own. It needs to become a reality. Don't make a mistake of delivering a vision, but not putting in the hard and often mundane work of delivering it. Hard work pays off.
To manage the delivery of your vision, you need to combine effective project management with sensitive change management. What does that mean? This will help you deliver the changes you need with the full support of your team. Okay, so project management tools with sensitive change management. And that includes our very short webinar. We hope some of this information was very useful, the characteristics of a transformational leader. If you want more information on how you can become an effective inspirational leader, you can contact us. We do free consultations. We'd be more than happy to help support you in creating tools, systems, reviewing your current systems, or just providing you with some consultation on how you can transform your team, create effective visions, and also project management and time-sensitive management tools for your organization. Our website is www.iecsconsulting.com. Again, my name is Alvarado-Rodriguez, Executive Director to Innovative Education Consulting. And thank you, Samantha Rodriguez, my daughter, AKA also her first webinar as a transformational leader, with a master's degree in leadership. Thank you, Samantha, for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.